As a National Geographic adventure photographer, I've spent my career traveling the world and pushing my work to the limits, all in search of that perfect shot. I've always been curious about going beyond my comfort zone, challenging myself. And my next assignment is no different. As I hit the road and test myself again, in a bid to capture my homeland from a completely different perspective. You must never get complacent on the mountain. You don't want to learn that the hard way. One small slip can spell disaster. So when working at these dangerous heights, I have to breathe and remind myself that it's all about knowing when to push your limits, to ensure that you're in the right place at the right time. These mountains have always tested me. And climbing here is when I first discovered how to surpass my limits. Now, my mission to push my work further takes me to another tough environment. One that comes with a very different set of challenges. As beautiful as it may seem, capturing photos deep underwater can be deadly. Even for an experienced scuba diver like myself. However, you don't always have to head for the farthest reaches of Earth for this kind of experience. Like this disused industrial park just outside the city, which has been transformed into a vast diving center. In these situations, ensuring you have the right equipment to support you is vital. At 30 meters in depth, one mistake down here can quickly cause you to lose pressure, destroy equipment, or worse, lose your life. But it's testing conditions like these that drive you to think differently. I truly believe that humans were built to test our limits. Adventure and opportunity can be found all around us. It ensures that we are always pushing the envelope of what is possible. And my last stop is proof of that, as I head north to capture some of the most rugged, yet largely unknown parts of the country. The North Sea, one of the most savage bodies of water in the world. It's rough, it's windy, it's unpredictable. And it's definitely not easy to photograph. So we waited for a break in the weather to quickly get up in the air and capture a pretty unique perspective of this largely unknown place. The islands I'm capturing below are the Halligen, unique sea level islands just off the coast, which can flood up to 50 times a year. Who would even dare to live here? Norman's family have been pushing boundaries by living with these extreme conditions as caretakers of the island since the 17th century. And although the weather can be perilous, I get the feeling they wouldn't have it any other way. Being an adventure photographer takes me to some incredible places. But more than that, it reminds me how I should never be complacent. That the most testing of conditions are what push the boundaries of my creativity. And that the other perspective is always worth the hard work. No matter where you are, our world will always be a place full of daring adventure. And even for me, there's still so much to discover.
Turns out this has something to do with it. Here we go.
I'm getting older now, and I don't feel invincible.
It makes me want to push myself to such an extreme and live as long as I can. And continue to make the most of every moment.
If you push yourself beyond the point at which you should be coming out, there is a real risk you could die.
Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
What's making you nervous?
Oh, death is usually a big one, yeah.
We want to make you so resilient,
How can we be present with our stress now so that it doesn't kill us later?
so strong, so powerful,
If this is going to challenge your body, it'll challenge your brain too.
that you can go toe-to-toe with Father Time, and he's not even going to bother you.
We change your body to do a reboot on your system.
You know, we're basically going to need sort of Chris Hemsworth 2.0.
The new me. Let's get on with it, shall we?
I'm throwing myself into the unknown.
I almost guarantee you're gonna survive.
All right? There's a new breed of explorers taking me to the ends of the earth to discover hidden worlds that sit beyond our senses.
How's that feeling?
Scary as hell. You know exactly how it's feeling.
Once you decode the mysteries, you can find crucial information about the world around us.
Ready when you are. We're trying to see the invisible.
Wow. So I could be one of the first people to ever see this. Inside the sub at 3,000 feet.
And the only thing protecting you is about 6 inches of plastic.
We down here, y'all. We down here.
You gotta be kidding me.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
Anything dangling?
Just you.
I'm not gonna need to do that 2 times.
No.
That looks crazy. It's a different planet down there. How did I not know that this was in the world? Wow. I'm so putting this in a movie. I'm so putting this in a movie.
In the desert of Gebaline, just south of Luxor, Meredith searches for evidence of Egypt's earliest death rites. She believes the myths that drove Egyptians to mummify their own bodies had roots much earlier than ancient Egyptian civilization. Prehistoric rock art depicting wildlife suggests this area was once a sacred place. In the 19th century, archaeologists identified it as a burial ground.
This is a desolate, dry landscape. Nothing much to see on the surface. But underneath these rocks and sand, there would have been prehistoric tombs.
In 1896, an Egyptologist from the British Museum received a tip-off of a momentous discovery. Buried under a thin layer of desert debris, local farmers had found a mummified body, preserved in astonishing detail. On the upper arm, tattoos of horned animals were still visible, and from the head sprouted tufts of red hair, earning this mummy its original nickname, Ginger. There was a puncture wound to the left shoulder blade and a fractured rib beneath. Forensic analysis has revealed the body is male and over 5,000 years old. But how is this body so perfectly preserved? For Meredith, the evidence suggests the man's mummification was not planned. Instead, it was an accident of nature.
In this photo, I can see there's no bandages or anything that would have preserved this mummy. So it would seem that this was not an intentional mummification. He was preserved by the sand. There was no ritual or magic or anything involved, just the drying power of nature.
Hundreds of years before the first pharaoh, this man lived around the fertile floodplains along the River Nile. But around his 20th birthday, he was brutally stabbed in the back and left for dead. He was buried in a shallow grave with simple clay grave goods and covered with sand. But the desert sun and hot, dry sand quickly evaporated all the water from his body, stopping it from decomposing, freezing him in time until his discovery 5,400 years later. Archaeologists have found no papyri that explain the historical origins of mummification, but Meredith believes the practice could have evolved from accidents of nature.
Natural mummies, like the Gobelin man, would have inspired ancient Egyptians that if they could use technology to harness the power of nature, their bodies too could last forever into eternity. It's a truly spectacular discovery. It tells us where mummification started.